Hey Marcy, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm good. So my name is Carson, and I'm going to be your therapist that's going to be working with you. We're going to be meeting once every 2 weeks. I just wanted to thank you for taking the time to meet with me today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So, as we're talking, I just want to cover some things. I want you to know that this is a safe space and everything you say in here is confidential. I want you to be comfortable to share with me as much as you want to or as little as you want to. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. So there are a few limits of confidentiality by law. So I'm just going to go over those with you. So by limits of confidentiality, I mean instances where I would have to break confidentiality and share what you said. So those three are if I was subpoenaed to court by a judge, if you disclosed abuse to a child, elderly, or any other person, or if you disclosed that you were going to be an immediate threat to yourself or anyone else. Is that clear?
Okay. Yeah, that's clear. Thank you for explaining that.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I just wanted to ask you, are you ready to get started?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So can you tell me what brought you here today?
Yes, let's see. So recently I've just been feeling very down and I I think depressed. I don't know if I can say that without actually being diagnosed. But I just feel like I don't want to do anything. Like I don't want to get out of bed. Like it's just a task showering and brushing my teeth and doing the, regular everyday things. And I'm honestly surprised that I got here because I don't really like going anywhere, which isn't normal for me because I usually really love hanging out with people. I love people and I don't know why I'm just not wanting to see people, not wanting to see anybody. But it's kind of annoying.
Mhm.
So I kind of want to get to the bottom of that and try and figure that out.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that with me. I can see how some of that would be kind of difficult to manage with your day-to-day life. Is that
hmm
kind of something that's kind of weighing on you and affecting you in a lot of different ways?
Yeah, it is in a lot of different ways. Like I have lost my job because I just am like really, just not wanting to get out of bed and go to work and I've missed too much work. So I was really upset about that because, I'm a single parent and it's really hard for me to care for my kids when I don't have income and especially when I don't feel like doing anything.
Mhm. Oh yeah. I imagine that's probably pretty stressful, isn't it?
hmm
So
It's
it sounds
very
like
hard.
your kids are very important to you and
Yeah, they are. I have two kids and they're 5 and let's see, 8 now. So growing up.
oh, well, it sounds like you're very proud of them. That's
Yeah, I
awesome.
am.
hmm So are you married?
No, I'm divorced.
Okay. Um, I was gonna ask you. Oh, I wanted to let you know too. If you ever see me looking down at any point, I'm just kind of taking some notes. So
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
still listening.
thanks for
Don't
letting me
mind it.
know.
I'm just kind of taking some notes so I can kind of remember what you said.
Okay.
But I was gonna ask you. Can you kind of elaborate on when did you start feeling like this? When did you start feeling down? When did all this start?
Uh, that's a really good question. Um, so I lost my job like, when was it? Like 5 months ago, but it started a little bit before that.
hmm
So I started feeling like that probably like, I don't know, 8 months ago.
Okay, 8 months ago.
hmm
Wow. So that's been a while.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you've had to deal with this. That's a long time to feel down and kind of blah.
Yeah.
Have
Thank
your
you.
kids or other family members noticed that you've been kind of down?
Yeah. So my kids right now actually are with my mom
hmm
and my dad. And so it's hard not seeing them, but I think, I kind of talked to my mom about that and she brought it up because a while ago, a couple months ago, because it was just really, really bad. So I get to see them. pretty often, but it's just very hard because, they're my kids and I love them and I want to care for them, but it's just, I don't understand why I feel this way and why it, it's made such a huge impact on my life.
Yeah, I can see how that's stressful, especially with how much you love your kids. I'm sure you want to see them more and kind
Hmm.
of get to be more involved. So, I just want to thank you for sharing that with me again. And I do want you to know that I'm going to do my best to help you get through this and manage some of this because I want you to feel better too, just like I know you want
Well,
to.
thank you. Thank you. I
Mhm.
appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, of course. So, how long has it been hard for you to just get out of bed? Is that like the 5 months period is when it started, or 8 months?
So yeah, the bed, like, I started feeling really sad, like more 8 months ago and really down,
Hmm.
for some reason, but probably around like 5 months ago, hard for me to get out of bed, maybe 6 months ago.
Okay. 6 months ago. Okay. So, are you struggling with any like anxiety or anything, or is it just strictly being sad and feeling depressed, as you said earlier?
Um, I mean, I have some worries just about like not seeing my kids, and wondering how they're doing when I'm not able to go see them or if she's not able to bring them, to see me.
Hmm.
Worrying about them at school, things like that. So it's basically just worries about my kids. But I think that's a normal parent thing.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not positive, but other than that, it's just feeling down and kind of empty.
Okay. Yeah, like you said, that is a normal thing for a loving parent to feel. So yeah, I can see how you feel like that. So feeling down and empty. So can you describe what you mean by feeling empty a little bit? Is there a little more of an explanation?
Um, that's a good question. I've never really explained it before. um, I guess it's just like no desire to do anything
Hmm.
except sometimes see my kids, but even then, sometimes it's like it's just exhausting and it's too
Yeah.
much. Um, and like, yeah, it was exhausting, like when they're still growing up, but when they were growing up, because, taking care of kids, that's a big job, a busy
It is a
job.
big job.
But it just became even more so like exhausting and starting to feel like a chore when they
Mhm.
were here before they went to be with my mom and dad, which like broke my heart. But yeah, I don't know. I think, does that explain it?
Yeah, it does. Thank you for sharing that. And I can see why you'd be heartbroken. And
Hmm.
I hate that you're feeling that way about your children and missing them and stuff. So I have a few other questions. Have you ever taken any, are you on any medications currently?
Right now I'm on birth control and other medications. No, I take like vitamins every day and sometimes allergy pills and um what else? Zinc, stuff
Okay.
like that, magnesium. So I think birth control is the only actual like medication right now.
Okay. Have you ever been seen for mental health treatment by a psychiatrist or therapist in the past?
No, I haven't. I kind of thought about it before when I was going through the divorce because that was really hard and I kind of felt like this, but like not as much as I am now,
Hmm.
which is kind of weird because that was like a really hard time. But no, I haven't.
Okay. Well, since this is your first time, I just want to commend you on being here and being brave to come here and seek help. That's not a lot. I mean, that's not easy for a lot of people to do. So that's a really great step that you took. I'm proud of you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So have you ever been hospitalized or had surgery before?
I've had my appendix out and I broke my ankle one time, but that's the only time.
Okay. So these questions might be a little bit personal. If you don't want to share too much, you don't have to, or if you don't feel comfortable answering, that's fine too. Just let me know. But have you ever thought about hurting yourself?
Um, I mean, kind of, but not. really. Like, I've had those thoughts, but I would never actually do it because I have my kids and I would never want to do that to them. But those thoughts do creep in, definitely.
Yeah. Your kids, they're a great reason to keep on living. They
Hmm.
definitely need you around, and I know you love them. So when you say you've had thoughts, is that of like self-harm? So by self-harm, I mean like cutting or burning, or is this actual like suicidal thoughts?
Suicidal thoughts.
Okay.
Hmm.
So you said that you've never attempted or anything. You've just kind
Hmm.
of, okay.
No.
So have you ever been aggressive to people or animals or your kids
Um,
or vandalized anything or stole anything?
no, no. I'm a goody goody, if you want to put it that way.
Okay, good. That's a good thing. Okay. So, do you have any family history of that you know of anyone in your family having a mental health
Mm,
issue? So with that, I mean like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, anxiety, depression, just anything like that.
let's see. That's a very good question. I think I think some uncles or aunts had something. My um, great grandparents, I think, had, I don't remember what they had exactly, but they had something. And then I think my grandma actually has depression and anxiety, and maybe even bipolar. I'm not sure about that one, but depression and anxiety.
Right, so those do run in the family. Okay. Thank you for sharing that with me. I know
Hmm.
some of that can be kind of hard to remember and reflect on.
Hmm.
Um, so do you use any substances like alcohol or any other illicit drugs?
So in high school, I used to smoke marijuana, but I stopped that when I found out that I was pregnant, and I have never done that again. And then I, um, I drink sometimes, not
Okay.
a lot, like just a little bit, but, um, when I don't really go shopping anymore, so I
Hmm.
have things delivered, and I've found that getting stuff delivered from a liquor store is a lot more expensive. So I haven't really been drinking as much.
It is
But
expensive.
yeah.
So would you say, are you drinking every week or is this every day? Like, what's the frequency?
So usually I would have like probably one or two drinks per week just
Okay.
at home, like make myself a drink. Now I would say probably one every 2 weeks.
Okay. So are you drinking, do you like wine or like mixed drinks or do you have a
I like
preference?
mixed drinks. I'm a whiskey girl.
Well, those are good. But one or two a week isn't, that's not any, or
Hmm.
one or two every few weeks that's not anything bad. So have you ever received any treatment for substance misuse or anything?
No,
Okay. And do you have any legal history related to substances or anything?
no.
Okay. So I know you said that you've been feeling sad and empty. Have you been feeling irritable at all?
Yeah, a little bit actually.
Hmm.
Um, like whenever I see my kids, whenever my mom or dad brings them to my house to visit and do sleepovers and stuff like that, like sometimes it can get kind of frustrating, especially when they start arguing with each other, which they do a lot at this age. And I just I don't know why, but I get so mad and so frustrated with them, and I just like shut down because I'm like so annoyed. Which I feel bad doing that, but I don't know. It's gotten worse though in the past several months. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to work on that, but I don't really know what I can do.
Yeah, it can be very frustrating. I know, especially at the age they're at, and parenting's not always easy. So it's normal, and you're allowed to feel frustration and feel anger at times. That's a normal thing. So I hope you never beat yourself up about that. But thank you for sharing that with me. And I was going to ask you if you had anything that you did to cope with that, but you stated you don't really know what to do. So that can be something that we kind of work on in our upcoming sessions and stuff, kind of finding some
Mhm.
ways to cope with that and alleviate some of that anger and stress.
Yeah, I would really appreciate that because I never want them to feel like scared of me or
Mhm.
anything. And so I don't want to like lash out at them and yell at them just because I'm, dealing with my own issues.
Yeah. So I know you stated earlier that you've lost interest in some of the things that you used to enjoy. What were some of those things?
So I really love going out with some of my friends and family, like cousins and everybody who lives close, like bowling. We
Mm-hmm.
would go bowling like every week and which is so fun. I love that. And going fishing on my grandpa's boat. That's a really fun thing. Catching salmon and it's really fun. And then what are some other things? Spending time outdoors. Like I just love my favorite thing probably like ever is going camping with my kids and my parents. Um, that's like the best thing ever, but I haven't really wanted to do that much, which I've never felt before because I always
Mm-hmm.
want to do that. I'm always up for that. Um, but what else? Let's see. I really enjoy crafts too, like painting, watercolors, stuff like that, just to do in free time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's just been harder lately for some reason to just want to do that. Um, but those are some things that I would normally enjoy.
Okay. Yeah. So it seems like family time
Hmm.
it's really important to you.
It is. It's very important. And like, I don't really know how to explain it. Like it hasn't lost importance, because I'm feeling this way. It's just different. I can't really explain it if that makes sense. Any sense.
Oh yeah, it does make sense. I understand it's probably confusing
Mhm.
to explain these feelings and kind of what you're dealing with. So that was a great description. Thank you. So have you been able to see any of them since you started feeling like this in the past 8 months, or has that all just kind of wavered off?
I've seen, so not really my friends so
Yeah.
much, but I've seen like my kids and my mom and dad when they bring them to my house to visit or when I go over there, which is a lot, more rare than when they come to me. Um, but yeah, that's probably the extent of it. Like I haven't, I think I've probably gone bowling like 3 times since I started feeling this way with them.
Okay. So are there any times, maybe like lasting a few days or so, when you feel like really up and have more energy than usual? Or
Yeah, like kind of like what I just said about the bowling. Like like let's see, 3, 4 times throughout these last couple months. I've felt like really good, maybe a few more times than that, but I felt really good and either spent it like with my mom and dad and kids bowling or just with my kids at my house.
okay. So do you ever have visions or see or hear things that other people don't see?
No, not that I can think of, no.
Okay. And do you ever feel like people are watching you or trying to hurt you or any paranoia?
I mean, sometimes like I just worry about that just because of my kids when they're here. I don't
Hmm.
really feel that when they're not here though, so.
Okay, so you're just like worried about protecting your kids. It's not like
Mhm.
you're at home thinking you see something or someone's watching you.
Mhm.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so I know you said you do worry about your kids, which is normal for a mother to do, but other than that, like, do you have excessive worry or feeling anxious or fearful
Um,
frequently?
not anything other than that that I can think of. It's just like when I am solely responsible for my kids and like when I was married, um that I didn't feel that as much and I think it was just because I wasn't the sole protector.
Yeah.
Um, but so yeah, it's increased since then, like my worry. But I think that's just like I said, like being a parent. So
Maternal instinct. So does the kids' father, does he have involvement with them?
yeah, he does. He sometimes I feel like he doesn't really care a lot, which is very sad, but he tries to see them probably like twice a month.
Okay. Okay. And do you ever experience like intrusive thoughts or unwanted images or have urges to do things?
What do you mean, like urges to do things? Can you explain that a little bit?
Like I know some people they'll have the urge to get up and keep checking to see if the door is locked or keep
Oh,
doing something repetitively like flicking a light switch. So just
okay.
any type of urge that you might feel.
Um, yeah, thank you for explaining that.
Oh yeah, of course.
That makes much more sense. I don't know, not that I can think of right now. Um, yeah, can't think of anything.
Okay. So the next few questions I'm going to ask, they're a little bit personal, so they may be a little difficult. So if you need to think about your answer, take your time, take a break, anything, just let me know. Just let me know at any point. So have you ever experienced any abuse, physical, emotional, or sexual?
Um, no. Uh, can you explain a little bit about the emotional?
Yeah. So emotional abuse as a child sometimes comes from like a caregiver that is tearing you down, cussing at you, yelling at you, just telling you you're not good enough. And then in adults or teenagers, it could be from a partner, spouse, or parent still, just kind of the same thing, tearing you, controlling what you
Mhm.
do. So things like that.
Okay. I mean, my ex kind of, I guess, was emotionally abusive, kind of, or
Mhm.
verbally, but he never hit me or anything like that. So, yeah, nothing else like that.
Okay. So what did he do that was verbally abusive? If you feel like sharing, you don't have to tell me what he said
Yeah.
exactly, but was it like cussing or like controlling?
Yeah, he was very controlling, kind of manipulative, and um, he would, I got really mad at him when he would do this because it was oftentimes in front of our kids, but which is one reason why we're not together. But he would like cuss at me sometimes and just he would get very heated, like in an argument. He
Mhm.
had to be right all the time. So when I confronted him on something or um didn't want to do something his way, he got very upset with that.
Oh, I'm sure that was very hard to deal with.
Yeah. It was hard. It was
Yeah.
hard for me, but also I just like always wanted to make sure that my kids didn't see it. So I kind of didn't really care.
Hmm.
But like because he was doing that to me, but I know he would never do that like to our kids. I want to believe that,
Hmm.
but yeah.
So do you feel like any of the things he said or how he treated you still has an impact on you now, or have you been able to move on from that?
No, it doesn't have impact on me. I kind of let that go. It
Hmm.
did for a long time though. Like I let it have an impact on me, but I just learned to do some things that helped. Like journaling was a big thing that I realized really helped me. Um, and so during that time and during the divorce and everything, I just journaled a lot and I prayed a lot, and so that seemed to help.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Journaling is a great way to kind of uh, evaluate your feelings and kind of keep track of what you're going through. So I heard you mention prayer. Are you religious?
Yeah, I am a Christian.
Okay. So did you grow up in a Christian home or is this something
hmm
that you
Yeah, I
okay.
did. I grew up in a Christian home, and my parents are very strong believers, and I guess I should have listened to them more when I married my ex, but I was young and I didn't really want to listen. Um, but yeah, so they're very strong believers, and I am I see that as very important, like going to church, tithing, all that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know most of us had a difficult time listening to our parents when we were younger.
Yeah.
Um, so how was your childhood? Like, can you tell me the best thing that happened when you were a kid or?
Yeah, let's see. The best thing that happened. Hmm. So I think probably when just this one camping trip when I went early with my dad and we set up the campsite together and the whole family came after, like some of my cousins, and we would do get-togethers, and it was around Easter, and we would always do like Easter egg hunts and go kayaking and all that. So that was really fun. And I think my favorite memory ever is just being with my dad early, with no one else there yet, and setting up the campsite and just hanging out with our dog, just him and me.
Yeah, well, that does sound like a good memory, good quality time. So you and your dad are really close.
Yeah, we are really close.
Good. So how do you sleep at night?
Um, mm, I sleep pretty well. I mean, it's sometimes I get up in the middle of the night, just because I usually do that. I need some water or something, but yeah, I usually sleep pretty well.
Do you still feel rested when you wake up and stuff, or are you still?
No, not really. I just feel like continually tired and exhausted.
Mhm.
And even if I get like I know if I get too much sleep, I'll feel more exhausted, but even if I get like the right amount of sleep, like 8 hours, is what I would usually have, I just feel exhausted and I want to sleep more. I want to sleep like the whole day a lot of times.
Mhm.
And it's really frustrating because that's why I lost my job. And so it's really hard trying to find a new job when I don't want to get out of bed at all. And I don't have that urgency to, and when I really should. Um, and I just don't have that desire to because I don't feel like it.
Yeah, so I imagine that can be really frustrating and exhausting.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry you're having to deal with that. Um, Hopefully we can come up with some things that are going to get you back on the right track because it sounds like getting a job and getting back to work and getting
Hmm.
your kids is very important to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I have some medical questions. So I'm going
Okay.
to ask, do you have any chronic medical problems?
No, I don't.
Okay. Have you ever had any surgery or lost consciousness, which can be like from a seizure or hitting your head or sports injury, anything like that?
So I just had the like appendix out for the surgery. I've never lost consciousness. I had the appendix out and then my ankle. But those are the only ones.
Okay. So, do you have any allergies? Are you allergic to anything?
Not that I know. Well, maybe like pollen, but not that I know of. Other than that,
Okay. And do you do you know if your mother had any difficulties during her pregnancy or delivery with you?
I don't think no. I don't think she did.
Okay. And did you have any complications with either one of your children?
Um, no. I mean, my son was just like breech, and that was kind of hard, and his umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck, but they got it all figured out, so everything was fine. He was fine, thankfully. But other than that, no.
Okay. And have you had any recent stressors? So I know your kids being with your parents is kind of a stressor, but other than that, have there been any deaths or sickness or illness within your family?
Mm,
New babies born?
I mean, I've have new nieces and nephews, a couple, like I think three,
Hmm.
in the past like 8 months. But other than that, no.
Okay. And are you dealing with any legal issues or do you have a history of any legal issues?
Uh, what do you mean by legal issues?
Like any, not traffic violations, but like court cases or
Oh,
charges, any
no.
criminal record? Okay.
Mm.
Okay. And do you have a history of military service?
No.
Okay. So, what are your future plans? Like, what do you plan on doing, like for work or living in this area?
So what I really want to do for work is be like work with individuals with disabilities. I really have a heart for that, and I really love that, and that's what I've done that in the past, and I really enjoyed it. This it wasn't my last job, but before that, so I really would love to do that. I don't know if that'll happen. I hope
Mhm.
so. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I can't think of anything else.
Yeah. Okay. So, is there, there's a couple more questions I was going to ask about your symptoms. So I know you said that you've had a loss of interest, fatigue,
hmm
depressed mood, and like some thoughts of death. Are you having any trouble with weight loss or gain?
Um, a little bit, yeah. I I found myself since I lost my job, especially like eating a lot more, like when
Hmm.
I'm stressed, when I'm bored, when I'm, sad. So that's a lot of the time. So yeah, I have gained a lot of weight actually, now that you mention it.
And then what about like, do you find it hard to like think? Like, are you foggy headed? Like, kind of a lack of concentration when you do try to work
Mhm.
or when you did?
Yeah. Um, Yeah, I think that was one of the reasons why I lost my job because when I did get out of bed and was managed to actually get to work, I wasn't all there and I just was very distracted and not kind of like you said, like very foggy minded, and just not on top of my stuff like I probably should have been.
Okay. So I'm going to kind of summarize so you correct me if I got anything wrong or if I'm leaving anything out. So after listening to you and meeting me with you today, I'm hearing that you've been feeling kind of down and just empty and depressed, kind of sad for the past around 8 months.
Mhm.
You lost your job around 5 months ago
Mhm.
due to not being able to get out of bed and go to work. It's kind of been difficult with your kids living back with your parents. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's
And
correct.
you're also kind of struggling with some thoughts of death, like no actual attempts or plan, just kind of thinking about it,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
fatigue, and just struggling to think and get things
Yeah.
done. A little bit of weight gain. Okay. So that's everything.
Yeah, the suicidal thoughts have really decreased a lot. But the fatigue and, the sadness and everything, like today's a pretty good day, but the sadness overall is like increasing a lot, I've noticed.
Okay. So from everything that you told me today, it seems to me like you're having depressive symptoms. You had five or more of the symptoms that go into
Mhm.
the diagnosis of major depressive disorder. So I don't want to give you that diagnosis today without a second. Are you okay with maybe getting a second opinion? That's what I
Yeah.
feel like you're kind of experiencing, but I was thinking a second opinion and maybe I'll set you up an appointment to med management and kind of get that coordinated.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. And it's not like you have to get on medication or anything, but they would be able to explain to you like the benefits and what types of medications if they recommend them.
Okay.
And I also think the next time we meet, we can start. This is an assessment tool. It's called the Beck Depression Inventory. So what this is basically an assessment. You just check for what symptoms you're having, and each week, every time you come with me, we can complete that and just kind of see the progress you're making.
hmm Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. And I also want to ask you to start something if you're willing. It's called self-recording. So I know you expressed that you like to journal and stuff like that. So I think this would be good for you. And it would also be a good way for us to keep up with your moods and progress.
hmm
So with self-recording, I would just ask you to keep a weekly journal. It doesn't matter if you want to do it. I would recommend maybe writing in it daily just so you
Okay.
don't forget, but you can do it however you want to. Write in it daily, your moods, maybe what triggered you, how you felt that day, just keeping a journal of that, and we can you can share with me whenever you come here as much as you want to, or as little as you want to, but we can kind of discuss that, monitor your progress that way.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually a really cool idea because I do like journaling and I've kind of gotten, out of the habit of it. So I think getting back in that would definitely be good.
Yeah, I think it'd be beneficial for you to start getting into some of the things you used to like doing and maybe get a
Hmm.
little interest. Um, then also after we start that and you get the second opinion, maybe we could start some cognitive behavioral therapy. So what that is we're able to like recognize and identify the negative thoughts that you're having and
Hmm.
actions that are going on in your life and kind of identify those, get to the bottom of them and start changing your behavior and patterns.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. So that sounds good. I want to thank you for meeting with me today.
Yeah, thank you. I really enjoyed talking with you and I really thank you for just, listening so well and making it a safe space, like you said.
Yeah, I appreciate you being open and sharing with me. And I just want to reiterate that I'm here to support you and help you, whatever you need. So I'm gonna make you an appointment for medication management. And then when you come back here in 2 weeks, we'll kind of follow up and look into your self-recording and the results so we get from the back depression inventories.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you so much.
Okay, sounds good. Have a good day.
You too.